We're back with Blue Zoo TV, presented by Hikari, to continue our tour of the bizarre and beautiful at the Newport Aquarium in Newport, Kentucky. We are here at the Newport Aquarium with our old friend, Jeff Kabula. Jeff, how you doing?
Good, how are you, Frank?
I'm excellent. You know, we're here because you guys have this great promotion, Celebrate Your Weirdness. Bizarre and beautiful. Now, weirdness can go a lot of different ways.
Exactly.
But for the Newport Aquarium, what does that mean?
Well, what we tried to do is we actually reinvented one of our galleries this year. It's been 10 years since we've done something new inside the building like this, and we wanted to give it a fresh look. We had some animals that we thought we could give better homes to, and which we'll look into a little bit. And we also thought that we could expand on some of these animals that some of our aquarists think that are really neat for the public to see.
Now, we talk about the weirdness. We're going to see crabs and puffers. What is so weird about the display behind us? Because we've got neons and we've got discus.
Okay, well, for me, what's weird about these discus, or not so much weird, but different, is we're only allowed to give natural animals, native species, and what ends up happening is we very rarely can do the hybrids or the different things. So we wanted to give a little bit of, show people how fish can be bred for different colors, shapes, and differences. Even though they're the same species, people think they're different. So what we wanted to do is have some fun, and also it was a really cool idea to have 2,000 or 3,000 neons on exhibit for everybody to see.
Now, you have enough room here where you can actually add more discus.
Oh yeah, plenty. We're going to. Still, it's a newer exhibit at this point in time, so we're taking it easy with getting everybody in, see how the animals do, and we're going to add different species too, not just discus, but.
Well, I would imagine that there are so many different colors in the discus family today. Do you guys ever get in arguments about what colors you're going to bring in, or is it pretty simply your discretion and you make the decision?
No, we have two people that are in charge, the aquatics curator and the area supervisor, Dan Hagley, and our aquatics curator is Mark Dvornak, and those two sort of make those decisions. They work with the biologists that have their suggestions. That's sort of what this gallery came from, was suggestions of biologists, of animals that they thought were fun and neat that the public would enjoy.
Well, when you talk about the weirdness side of it, and strange and beautiful, how much of it is marine versus how much of it is freshwater? Because obviously this is freshwater.
Right. Gallons-wise, we're about 60-40.
60 being? The
saltwater, 40 being the freshwater.
You know, they talk about that a lot of times. The challenge of keeping discus is water quality and maintenance. Right. Is it a challenge? I know you guys do this professionally, but is it a challenge at all?
Yeah, actually it is. Our water is really hard here. And that's exactly, it's hard and high pH, exactly what the discus hate. So we have to soften the water. We're also, obviously we're dechlorinating everything. We have chloramines and chlorine in the water, but we're also taking out calcium hardness, magnesium hardness. We're taking out some salts that are in the water here too. So these guys are a challenge for us. Freshwater is a challenge for us. Saltwater, easy. So. All
right, so for those at home who are always saying, I think saltwater is tough, it's quite the opposite here at Newport Aquarium.
Yeah, for larger systems, and that's in public aquariums, that's actually more generalized, or general the case, because saltwater is circumglobally, besides temperature, there's really not much difference.
So we get a good view of what 2,000 neons actually look like.
Yep.
Boy, it makes me want to put one in my house.
Yeah, they're fun.
From the leader in aquatic nutritional innovation, the world's first diets that include a living microorganism, Hikari germ. These spore-formed bacteria become live once in the digestive tract of your fish and overpower bad bacteria, reducing their negative impact on your pet while increasing enzymatic action, allowing more efficient use of the nutrients and color-enhancing ingredients. They also work to decompose waste once it leaves your fish's body, helping to improve your water quality. Try Cichlid BioGold Plus and put the Hikari germ to work for you.
Jeff, a unique name for a fish is the elephant nose. And for people that don't know much about them, there is actually more than one variety. And are these fresh or saltwater?
These are freshwater. There's actually two species in here of elephant noses. And to be honest, the one species, I'm not really sure why it's called an elephant nose. I just think it's because it's has the weakly electric organ like the other elephant noses have, so I think they just lump them together.
That's the one that doesn't have the schnoz on it.
Correct. So we have two. the ones from Africa, or both of them are from Africa, different rivers, and we put them together. They have similar. They're very territorial. You'll see them nipping each other a little bit. Once they get, they like high flow. They have live plants in there with them. The neat thing about them that people don't understand is electricity in some animals can be used for location and for hunting. So on the true elephant nose, with the long proboscis, they actually have electric organ there, and that's how they find food. They can put that in the sand and find food and have some. So the kids have a little bit of fun. It's a weird looking fish. They're really sensitive, obviously.
Now, it's not really the nose, it's more of an extension of its mouth, correct?
Correct. It is more an extension of its mouth. And people sort of walk by this exhibit and some of them see it, some of them don't.
Well, the beauty of an exhibit like this is you're really setting it up like it is in nature, and they're not always visible. You know, they have to be hunted down a little bit just to see.
Right. When we decided putting the exhibit together, what it was going to look like, how it was going to function, we definitely did a little bit of a life history and found out that where they liked high rift flows in a area where it's cut out so they can sort of suspend, and you can see they sort of do that in the back of the tank and in certain areas. This tank turns over 7 times an hour. I mean, it's ripping.
Explain turnover a little bit.
Turnover, and what I'm talking about is total turnover, is how much water is entering and leaving the tank. It's a 55-gallon, and 7 times an hour, it's turning 55 gallons over.
Wow.
So it's really ripping. You can sort of see the flow coming out, jetting out.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Water quality can have a dramatic impact on the health of your aquatic pets. Using Ultimate, the world's first full-function water conditioner, can eliminate most water quality issues with 1 dose. It permanently converts the ammonia using a patented process, rendering it harmless. Ultimate protects damaged areas of your fish, missing the slime coat, and also boosts alkalinity, detoxifies chlorine, nitrate and heavy metals, and adds essential electrolytes. Try Ultimate, everything you need in 1 bottle.
They're really skittish to feed, and I think we're going to feed right now with that perfect timing.
Perfect timing, feeding them. See, we didn't even plan that.
So,
now, if you were going to recommend, would this be a fish that you might recommend someone to do as a community tank or maybe even a startup, or are they a little more advanced than startup?
These are definitely advanced fish. I would consider them advanced, and they can be a little costly too. I mean, they're not too bad, but they definitely are labor intensive. I mean, that's a lot of food.
I was going to say, that is a lot of food.
But they're just not the greatest eaters in the world, so you got to overfeed it.
And if you're circulating your tank as much as you are, it's not that bad putting that much food into it.
Correct. And the nice thing about it is this tank is connected to the big discus tank. So the biological in the back and everything is all together. But
so that means if they're feeding here, they're feeding there. Wow, equals out nice. Elephant nose, very cool. Jeff, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
We have 120-some pound alligator snapping turtle.
Uh-huh.
And this is a big turtle in a small pond. My question is, which guy on the totem pole gets to weigh this thing every so often?
Oh, we take turns. Draw straws.
He is gigantic. Where did he come from?
Actually, Louisiana. He was actually going to be, you're allowed to eat them in Louisiana. He's the bigger one. There's a guy down there that takes care of when they come in this size, pulls them from them, buys them from the butcher's block, and then he surpluses them to or sells them to aquariums and zoos. So this is Thunder. His name is Thunder, because he can, if he wanted to, break your leg if he wanted to snap
Oh, I'm sure he could.
So.
But, if they eat them down there and they don't move very fast, couldn't they become extinct fairly quickly?
Exactly. So that's the point. Animals like this, in captivity, genetic research on what's going on, trying to keep the population viable, making sure that they're out there. I mean, it takes a long time to get an animal this size.
So in this case, this is where really truly keeping an animal in captivity is going to save its life.
Correct. He literally came from a butcher's block.
Catch us next week on Blue Zoo TV, presented by Hikari, as we celebrate more weirdness from the Newport Aquarium. To learn more about the show or to email us, go to bluezootv.com.